What's up, guys? Welcome to the pilot episode of the Pink Print podcast. Pink is not just a feminine color, it's a color of resilience. And in our resilience, we find our identity. In this podcast, we're going to learn about someone's journey of breast cancer and someone who had a scare. Sit back, and I hope you enjoy this podcast. Bye. Hello and welcome to Pink Prince. Pink in honor of Breast Cancer Month, and Prince because we are Margin's ID group, the identity companies. My name is Mina Bella Hassan, and I'm in charge of marketing. And I have with me
Edwina Annan, and I'm with the HR team.
and
Entry.
okay, welcome, beautiful ladies.
Thanks.
So today we're here to talk about breast cancer, and we're here to talk about a few difficult things, and we're really honored to have our friend, our colleague, and our sister who unfortunately was diagnosed with breast cancer, I would say almost exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
So telling the story is so important, and we're really appreciative of you coming to sit here to actually speak about it, because it's a story that a lot of people don't like to speak about or try and keep hidden. Or I know a lot of people who are diagnosed with various kinds of cancer feel very isolated and alone. So really thank you
Sure, it's my
for
pleasure.
being
actually.
here. And Andrea is here as well as your support system,
Yeah.
and as also somebody who went through it with you and has also had her experiences with various kinds of cancer in her family and has done various checks herself. So that's us. Let's begin. All right, Edwina, first question. What was life like before breast cancer literally became the center of your world?
I was great. I mean, I always tell people that for me, it was like I had actually just started living my best life. I started traveling more, doing more things that I loved. I was really enjoying my job. You know, everything was great. Spending lots of time with family and friends and all of that. And then within a blink of an eye, everything just changed.
Can you tell me about the day that you knew something was wrong?
Yeah, so what happened was, I mean, I come out of the shower, I'm getting dressed, and I start to see changes in my breast. I'm like, hello, something's wrong here, like that's not how my titty looks. So I was like, what
Yeah.
is going on, So initially I just thought maybe my bra, something weird with my bra, so probably changed it a little bit, but that was just me just probably trying to not. So I'm like, no, let me go get this checked. So eventually I go get checked, and then the first thing they do is have an ultrasound. And the result of the ultrasound comes, and they're like, oh, you have lumps. I'm like, sorry?
Yeah.
What do you mean by I have lumps?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
And they're like, then they say you have to do a biopsy tomorrow. I'm like, and for me, it was so quick that like now I have to do a biopsy because they're saying it looks malignant, which means that it looks like it's possibly cancer.
Okay. So let's say that word slowly.
Malignant. Yes,
And then when it's a good thing, it is
it's benign.
benign.
Yes.
Okay.
So if it's a good thing, it's benign. If it's cancer, they'll say it's malignant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that
You're welcome.
clarification. Now, before you go on, I was also a part of that story as well, uh, because when she noticed that something was wrong with her breast, you were on your way to work. You still got dressed and you were on your way
Yeah.
to work, because at Margins we are passionate.
Very passionate.
We're passionate. You're on your way to work and
Yeah.
you called me and you said, Mina, there's something wrong with my breast. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And it just went the next thing I know,
Yeah.
you're going to get a biopsy.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like to get a biopsy? Because I learned a lot of things about a biopsy because you went and did one.
Yeah.
So if you can share with our audience,
So
what is it like?
So getting a biopsy is, I mean, it's scary because you know why they want you to do a biopsy. And the process for me was a bit painful because then they have to use this huge needle of some sort to try and get a sample of the lump that they've seen in your breast.
How big is the needle? You've done a biopsy as well.
Yes.
Oh my God.
In college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how big is this needle?
I mean, it's pretty big. But then, I mean, you know, they try to, obviously, they'll numb the area and all of that. For me, the experience wasn't too great because then I had to come back a second time because the first one didn't go too well. So I had to go again to do a second biopsy. And what made it difficult was the waiting period because you know why you are doing the biopsy. And then after you do the biopsy, you're like, oh my God, I'm praying this thing is actually benign and it's not malignant, it's not cancer. And you're waiting for a whole week because it doesn't take a few hours. It takes a whole week.
I remember that.
Yeah, for your results to come. And at the same time, you have all of this going through your mind, but then you still show up at work. You're still trying to, you know, do your presentations, do everything. But there's so much going on in your mind. And that's a lot of mental stress on its own, even before the results come.
Andrea, was it the same for you as well? Because obviously you also didn't know if it was benign or malignant. So is exactly the same way she's describing it for you? Because I know it varies sometimes.
In a way. So when I started college, it was the first time that I went to go get a medical checkup. And I'll encourage people to get medical checkups because they're very important. I thought I'm healthy, nothing could ever be wrong with me. But then I started feeling pain in my breast, so I decided to go get a checkup. And I remember going to my school's clinic, and the doctor felt around, and then she said, oh, she noticed that I had some lumps. And she said, okay, I should come back and do a biopsy. And I didn't know what a biopsy was, but I just heard lumps. And I have a family.
Sorry, so these lumps were not visible to you?
Visible. To me, they weren't visible.
Okay.
At all.
So you were even shocked by that? Okay.
I found that I had lumps.
Okay.
I was like, they weren't visible to me. And also at that time, I wasn't also doing breast self-examinations. I wasn't examining my breast to see if there was any changes or anything like that. So when she said lumps, I was thinking to myself, how's that possible? I just felt that my breast felt heavy. Sometimes I had pain, but I didn't know that I had lumps. So when she told me, then I was shocked. And I remember leaving the doctor's office, crying my eyes out because I didn't think that somebody could just have lumps in their breast. And I was also very naive. I really didn't know much. And I remember calling my mom and telling her, and she just started crying, and she went to the extreme. Because
as mothers do.
Yes, as mothers do. And the reason why she went to the extreme was because when I was younger, my dad passed away from a cancer, a very aggressive cancer.
Boy.
And so she just was replaying in her mind, like, could this be cancer again? And then is it also happening to my youngest child? So I had to go back and do some more tests.
That's a lot.
Get a biopsy done as well.
Okay. But yours was
benign,
which is what we want to hear. But unfortunately, sometimes
it's malignant.
Malignant.
Yes.
And what did that feel like for you when they told you that?
So a friend of mine went with me actually to get the results when they called that the results were in. And when the doctor said, we're very sorry, but it's cancer, I think everything just went blank for me. And I remember just looking at the doctor for like a few seconds, and then I just burst out crying and I was screaming. I had a terrible panic attack. I couldn't breathe because I felt like they're literally giving you a death sentence, right? It's like you're telling you, you're gonna die, right? Because that's what you think, because that's what we all know about cancer.
Yeah.
That cancer is very aggressive. It takes people's lives just like that. And I was like, what are you telling me? Like, how is, and I was like, I'm in my 30s. Like, 1 minute I'm living my best life, and the next minute you're telling me your life is over.
And I think for additional content, Edwina doesn't drink. She doesn't really drink. She doesn't smoke.
I don't do anything.
She's pretty healthy. She does go for regular checkups as well, not like some of us. So it wasn't even like you're living the kind of lifestyle that people think.
Yeah.
Because of the lifestyle you live, these things happen to you. So none of that was the case for you.
No.
And now they're telling you, you've got breast cancer.
Yeah.
And what stage?
So it was stage 3.
Which
and grade 2.
Insane.
Yeah, because there are 4 stages. They say stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there are different grades, right? And I'm like, I was so confused, right? I mean, everything was just a blur. I just thought that was it for me. I was so scared. I was just crying and screaming in the hospital. And one thing for me is that the first place, I didn't feel any lump in my breast. And the only thing I saw were like the dents, the physical changes I could see, but I couldn't feel any lump, right?
Yeah.
So I was wondering at what point was it even stage 1 that it has become stage 3? Because if it's stage 1, you know, maybe you feel like you have some chance at life and stuff like that and getting it fixed or whatever. But when they tell you it's stage 3, you're like, what, am I going to die tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a really scary thing. And I didn't even have time to process it, because one thing that, and let me just go back a bit to the biopsy, because the biopsy, what it does or what it shows is different markers that they look out for. Because breast cancer, when people get breast cancer, initially I used to think that breast cancer is breast cancer. It's the same with everyone. If 2 people have breast cancer, it's the same thing. But apparently it's not, because there are different types of cancer, even within the breast cancer. And then
I don't know that.
yeah, and then there are things that they look out for as to whether it's hormone receptor positive or negative. And there's another thing that they call HER2. So some people, you hear them say, oh, I'm triple positive breast cancer, or I'm triple negative breast cancer.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so like I was saying, there's the hormone receptor.
Okay.
So it's whether the cancer feeds off your estrogen and progesterones, and there's also HER2 that really determines how aggressive it is, pretty much. I'm just explaining it in the layman's.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah. So, and also, depending on what you have, it can also determine what kinds of treatment that they're giving you. So the biopsy shows all of those things. And so some people, depending on what they have, will respond positively to treatment or not. So it's I was like, I didn't know all these things, and it was moving so fast, and I had to do a mammogram. I was just in and out of the hospital from that day that they told me I had cancer. My life just went upside down.
Immediately changed.
Yeah.
Another thing became a part of your life, and that thing was chemotherapy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. What is chemotherapy?
So chemotherapy is basically treatment that you're giving to try and cure the cancer or cure you, or at least prevent it from spreading to other parts. So for me, fortunately, it was stage 3, but it hadn't gotten to stage 4, which means it hadn't spread to other parts of my body.
Okay.
Yes, so the chemotherapy was basically to shrink the tumors and everything, and just prevent it from spreading to other parts of my body. But chemotherapy,
my understanding of chemotherapy is that it is a poison.
it is.
So they are introducing a poison into your body with the hopes that it will shrink or get rid of the cancer.
Yeah.
With the hope.
With a hope.
Andrea, did your father have chemotherapy? Or
So with my dad, with his brain tumor, the doctors recommended that he goes into surgery.
Okay.
and try to get the tumor removed. And I remember I was quite young. I was like 12 or so.
Boy.
And I remember always going with him to the hospital because he had so many appointments. He had headaches, he's getting seizures, so he no longer could work. And I know the doctors went through with my family and recommended surgery and then chemotherapy and different things that he could try. And our family said, okay, he should try having the surgery. And so we were going to do the surgery, and he went in for the surgery. And sadly, after the surgery, there were some complications that happened.
Right.
He passed away from the complications from the surgery. And that happened on the morning when I woke up on my birthday. I just heard shouting in my house.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what it was. I knew that my dad was going in for surgery, and I knew that everything was going to be okay. Everything was going to be great. But sadly,
It wasn't the case.
that wasn't the case.
May he rest in peace. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So, Edwina, did you have the option of a surgery instead of chemotherapy? Or was it just like you are at this stage,
Yeah.
you have stage 3 cancer, grade 2,
Yeah.
and you need to start chemotherapy?
Yes, I had to start chemotherapy because one of how aggressive the cancer was, and at the stage it was at as well. So they had to immediately start with chemotherapy because it would have taken a while to now plan the surgery, and I didn't have time. But they said you literally do not have time to wait to even think of doing surgery first. So for me, I had to do chemo first. Yeah, like
Okay.
I had to do chemo first, and then after chemotherapy, surgery, and then after surgery, radiotherapy, and then continue again with more chemotherapy. So my treatment plan has been a really long one.
It
And
sure has.
chemotherapy almost killed me because the first time that thing went into my body, I promise you I almost lost my life from even just the chemotherapy because it doesn't just attack the cancer cell, it attacks all your healthy cells.
Yeah.
You begin to lose your hair. I lost all my hair. I mean, my nails became black. I lost my eyebrows, like anywhere that I had hair. My eyelash, everything went. And
What was that like? Because I mean, we all know you. You are our office baby girl. You know, you you took a lot of pride in your hair
I love
and
my
your
hair.
nails and your appearance, and you still
Yeah.
do. And what did that feel like to all of a sudden your hair is falling out in chunks? You have no eyebrows.
Yeah.
Your nails are turning black. Apart from obviously the pain from having
Being sick,
cancer
yeah.
and being very sick and having chemotherapy, what did that feel, that loss of identity
Yeah, I mean,
feel like?
it was heartbreaking. I mean, there were times I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. There were times that I didn't want to see anybody because I didn't want people to look at me. It's a very sad and painful experience. You feel like you've lost or are losing who you are, losing a huge part of yourself. You see that life is still going on for others, and for you, life has sort of just stopped.
Yeah.
And it can also be very isolating, but fortunately I had a lot of support, and it's one thing that I would mention because you really cannot go through something like this without support from family, from friends, from colleagues. You guys were a big part of my journey. I mean, before I even knew I had cancer, you guys were in the know and really supported me. So thank you for that.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
I'm glad you brought up support because that was actually one of my next questions. When somebody is going through something life-changing and traumatic like cancer, what kind of support do you need from people, your friends, your partners, your workplace? What kind of support? Because I know in a lot of cases, people just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't know what to say to you. And it can all be like, I'm just going to pretend she doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to put my head in the sand. Or so what kind of support do you actually need from your friends, your family, your partner, your workplace even?
Yeah, so I think for me, I've always been a people person, and I I wanted people to show up. I wanted to feel like I was still loved, even though I had this thing happening with me. I didn't want to feel all alone. Because chemo took a lot of things from me. When I started chemo, I couldn't hug people. I had to be, keep my distance from people because you can't afford to pick an infection
Infections, yeah.
because then it affects your white blood cells and all of those things. So I still wanted to be able to, even though I wasn't ready for the whole world to know, at least people that were close to me, I wanted them to be there for me. Whether it was just coming to sit next to me and say nothing, or just sending me messages or calling to check in. But for some people, it may be different. Maybe they really are not ready for a lot of people to come in. But for me, I wanted that. I wanted people. And I do know people who couldn't reach out. Right. And definitely you feel hurt. Like I felt hurt by that because I wanted the people who were there before I had cancer still show up for me
During,
even my period and it was my darkest moment. It was the scariest, still is the scariest time of my life because you really don't know tomorrow. You really don't know whether, and I think it's one thing I actually used to say that I don't even know when I'm going to wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I used to say, and it's really scary because you're like, I'm not ready to go,
Yeah.
and even in my darkest moment, I just want those who I love or, whether it's my colleagues or my friends or my family to just be by my side, right? And sometimes you don't even have to say anything.
Just be there.
Just be
Just
there.
show up.
Or just say, hi, how are you doing? Just checking in on you. It means a lot. It actually goes a long way, just to making me or whoever feel like you're still loved, you're still cared for. Just because you have cancer doesn't mean that, we don't care. We're still there for you, all the more actually.
Okay. And what about parents? Because I know if a lot of times when I'm going through things, my mom feels like it's happening to her.
Yeah.
And that's difficult because then you almost have to isolate what you're going through to take care of your parent. And I get that as a parent, but what do you want to say to any parents watching who have their children going through something like cancer or having a diagnosis like that?
Yeah, I know it's a really, really painful thing. It actually took me a while to tell my mom because I knew it was going to break her. And that was scary for me. But we still need our parents, right? And sorry. My mom really showed up. My dad was also there for me. My parents were there for me. So I would just tell parents that just be there. Like sometimes I know some people who may not want to show up because they'll say they're going to cry or, they don't want to cry in front of their kid that's going through this, but it's really okay.
So it's fine because I really try not to cry in front of you.
Yeah, no, it's
as your friend. I used to call Andrea and we'll cry on the phone together. But most of the time when I was with you, a lot of times I really tried because I didn't want you to feel bad.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I have had a few friends who they've cried when they've come to see me and the thing is, we know that it's also difficult for those who love us.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously, even though we are going or I'm going through my own struggle, I know that because you love me, it's also painful for you to go through. And it's okay for us to cry together.
Yeah.
We don't always have to laugh together. There are times that we'd cry, and there are times that I saw that you held your tears back a few, but you also cried a few times. Let's talk about that.
No,
You also cried, and that was okay.
too gangster for that. No, I definitely cried. It's so difficult to see somebody that you love, and especially someone who's so vibrant, And she's always in my ear, and she's always, let's have a dance party. Let's do this. I'm like, leave me alone. And to see you in so much pain, and to see you, like, I remember you couldn't even hear noise.
Yeah, no.
The TV was off. You were cold. You were hot.
Yeah.
You were throwing up. Your head was exploding.
Everything.
I was fighting for my own life, trying to keep it together, because it was very difficult to see you in that way, for sure. But on that point, what are things that people absolutely should not do? I know people say a lot of things, maybe meaning well, but they come off terrible, especially when you're fighting something as serious as stage 3 breast cancer.
Yeah, one thing that should not be done is compare one patient to the other. Some people may know people who have already gone through cancer or breast cancer or whatever it is, and or are still going, and will say things like, oh, I know that this person has gone through this, you should also try and do this. Please. Already trying to fight for my life as it is. I cannot now be trying to do what every other person is doing. And like I said before, just because, you know, everybody's treatment plan is different, everybody's body tolerance is different, even with the medication. So let's not compare one patient to the other and say, I remember one time somebody who was trying to be very well, like meaning and everything, actually said, oh, there's this lady, and I was like really fighting for my life with this chemotherapy thing I had started, and because I couldn't do anything, I couldn't move, I was always on like drip at home or in and out of the hospital on admission.
Couldn't eat.
I couldn't eat, and I was always throwing up like constantly. I was losing so much weight. It was a lot of things. And then someone is now trying to say, oh, there's this influencer that also has breast cancer and she's doing great. I'm like, and I will stop you because she's doing great, yeah, but you don't even know where she's at in her journey, because now I'm actually still going through chemotherapy, but it's a different kind of chemo from what I was on before.
Right.
So someone may look, and my hair is growing back, my eyebrows have come back. So someone who may meet me now and
She's
see
doing
that
well.
I'm going through cancer and say, oh, but you're doing so well. No. Right? I'm doing maybe
We're still fighting.
I'm still fighting.
Yes.
But maybe I'm a bit better than I was in my fighting process than I was last year or even a few months back. Because even apart from chemo, then came surgery. That's a completely different kind of pain that you go through in your treatment plan.
Because your breast was removed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so some people don't have to do a mastectomy, which is...
So that's what it's called, a
mastectomy.
mastectomy.
Yeah, so there's the mastectomy, and then there's lumpectomy. So for some people, it's just a lump. And then others, it is a mastectomy.
So did you have to? Was it just to reduce the risk of it?
No, I had to.
You had to.
Especially because of the stage it was at.
Okay.
I had to. And so for mine, was actually a major surgery. It was I was in the hospital for days. I dealt with complications. It was a lot. And then came radiotherapy. That too.
What is radiotherapy? Andrea mentioned it as well.
So
what is
radiotherapy really is like...
Is there radio in the corner?
No, it's like lasers. So they target the area for wherever the surgery was done or wherever the cancer cells were or whatever it is. And it's just like laser targeted therapy to... So it sort of like burns the area where the thing was. It's a whole lot. I don't know how to explain the details of it.
Is it painful? Is it as difficult as chemotherapy, or is it a different kind of...
It's a different kind of treatment, and the effects of radiotherapy, that is ridiculous.
So what are those effects?
There's the darkening of the area, there's the pain. Like you would deal with a lot of pain. Then also things like I can't stand heat. I can't stand when warm water touches my body because then I start to itch a lot. It's part of the effects I'm still experiencing
dealing with,
actually from radiotherapy and all of that. So yeah, it's those things. It's the tiredness. It makes you really tired. You feel like even if you just walk from here to here, you feel like you've actually ran a marathon. So it's extreme tiredness. Sometimes you deal with a lot of headaches. It's a darkening and soreness in the area. It's a lot.
And you're doing that and still having chemotherapy.
Yep.
And
Okay.
I really like how she's explaining all of this, because I think some people, because they can easily see that, oh, her hair is growing back, or her eyebrows are going back, she's coming to work. So people can easily downplay what she's going through, or say, oh, she's healed. There's no way that she has cancer because everything on the outside looks okay.
I mean, you look great.
Yeah, she does look great.
Thank you.
That's one thing that people should not do. Like, do not downplay what somebody is.
Yeah,
100%.
And to pick on that, actually, it's really true what you're saying, because, you know, it's always a long journey in battling cancer. Even if today they say you are cancer-free, you actually never really know if you're cancer-free because you're always worried that this thing can come back.
Yeah.
And it can actually come back. So then people always have this anxiety about when they're going for scans. And I'm still constantly doing scans. I'm not yet fully cancer-free. I've just gone through and I'm still going through the treatment. And part of my treatment, because from the biopsy, they saw that I'm hormone receptor positive, I still have to do other treatments like hormonal therapy, and all of these things take a toll on you. I mean, I can show up today, but sometimes I'm so sick, and then like you guys know, I'm so sick, I can't do anything. I still go for chemotherapy, which also takes a toll. And so sometimes when you see someone show up, learn to extend grace to the person, because you really don't know.
I mean, you just had chemotherapy on Wednesday.
2 days ago,
Today is Friday.
Yep.
And so I think what we take from that, it doesn't matter if you look like this. You could have just had chemotherapy, which we've learned in this session is a literal poison that is going through your body and even attacking your healthy cells. So just some mindfulness around that. Is there anything else that people should never say? So we've learned that, you know, always try and show up. Always try and support, even if you're not going to say anything. Just come and sit, or send a message, or just show up. And also, don't give your own remedies. For
I had a lot of remedies coming my way.
I can imagine.
I do appreciate that it's always coming from like a good place and all of that. And it's okay because people want you to be well, right? People want you to be well, but there's also like a limit, you know, in what you're constantly bombarding the person with, because obviously the person knows that she has to eat healthy. I remember there was a friend of mine, and this is so funny. A friend of mine wanted to get me stuff, right? And the whole time this person would say, you must eat your vegetables, you must, you know, drink your greens. And I'm like, yeah, duh, like I know that. And one day I was in my house and this person didn't even ask, oh, what do you want me to bring you? Which a lot of people do when they're coming to see me. And I'm sitting in my house, this person comes and has like bags of carrots and cabbage and lettuce. And I already had a lot of that in my fridge. And I'm like, but am I a rabbit? Like, all these, like so many bags of, like, who's even, I don't even have strength to
chew a carrot.
These carrots. I can't even.
One time I was going over and I said, Edwina, what do you want? What can I bring? She said, bread. I want soft bread.
Something. Because, you know, you just also are trying. And I was like, please don't do that again. Like, can you ask me, oh, what do you need this week or today? Because that's what people were doing. I don't say because today I may need this, tomorrow I really don't. And I do appreciate a lot of people coming through for me, but there's also the importance of asking in this moment,
What do you need?
what do you need?
Yeah.
Because then I couldn't eat a lot of things, but now
Get it.
I'm gonna eat
What are we having for lunch today?
lasagna.
Clock it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and even though I'm still also obviously, because I know what I have to do, right? I'll eat what's healthy for me, the greens and everything. But once in a while, we also still want to feel normal
Yeah.
and feel like we can do certain things.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes even now I would show up because I want to be able to feel like I'm more than cancer.
Yeah.
I'm not defined by cancer. I'm not defined by breast cancer. Breast cancer is not who I am. I may have it, but I'm more than that. And people need to be able to also understand that when you're talking to the person, don't always talk to the person like something is wrong with the person. We don't want to feel like, I'm not showing up because I want to feel like there's something wrong with me. I want people to always pity me.
You're showing up
I'm
because you
showing
want
up
to be
because
normal.
I want to feel
Yeah.
like a year of my life was taken away from me. I want to be able to still live, you know, a little bit.
So what's the balance? For instance, we at work right now. We at work. And you've obviously been coming to work. And so how would you like to be treated at work? Do you want to, because obviously some people will look at you but like, oh, you know, let's treat her like a little
Babe.
yeah, a little baby, a little egg, because, or do you just want to be treated, Edwina, get this done, because I mean, your job is pretty intense. So
Yeah.
what can you share with workplaces and managers who have people that are going through things like cancer or any kind of illnesses who want to feel normal, but you also know that I don't want to stress you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the balance?
I think that first of all, it's always having a discussion with the person, and then also companies should always have room for people who are going through cancer and offer some sort of flexibility because it's not easy. Even with the treatment alone, it's not easy. But if the person does show up, the person can, yes, obviously has to, you know, gradually resume work and things like that, but also be able to do certain tasks that they want to do or feel like
Right.
they can do. So there's always the importance of having a conversation and then letting the person say, oh no, this is too much. I cannot do it. Because obviously you know what you can do and what you cannot do. Even if you're showing up, you can say, oh, I can do A, B, C, D, E, because we don't want to feel like you can't do anything just because you have cancer.
Wonderful. Anything to add to that on workplace?
Yeah, I would say not to stigmatize
Yeah.
an individual in the workplace and also outside of the workplace. I feel as though people feel at times that, oh, because this person has cancer or sickness, let me stay away because possibly
Yeah.
and I think that that is completely wrong because when somebody's going through such a difficult thing like this, being present, being cautious, and showing them grace is really, really important. So that's what I would add.
Yeah. Great advice all around. Okay, we're coming to the end, and I want to end this on a bright note. As awful as this was, there were a lot of bright moments as well. We were all so touched when I think at a point there was a GoFundMe set up for you, and it was incredible, the outpouring of love and support. And I think even here, because I was here when it came out, and even people who I know were earning like very little were like, how can I send? And I saw this entire company rally behind you. And not just this company, I saw people who didn't even know you reposting videos. Everybody there was just this, you reached your goal in record time. So tell me about, because that was really touching for me. And I know there were a lot of bright moments in this dark time. So tell us about some of that.
Yeah, the GoFundMe though. Yeah. And I think those who know me know that like I really struggled to even put out a GoFundMe because
It's not on brand.
And that's the thing about battling cancer or breast cancer is that it's financially draining. It's really expensive. And in the previous months, I was, doing everything, trying to do it out of pocket and stuff like that. But by the time it was time for me to go do the surgery and stuff like that outside, my friends were like, girl, you need to set up a GoFundMe. And I fought it for a while, but I was really touched by all the love, all the support. I thought, it was going to take a couple of weeks or maybe a month to reach our target. But we did in like a few hours. Actually, in a few hours. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who showed love, who supported me. I can't even express my gratitude fully, to be honest, but I'm really grateful. It made me feel, and something that I kept saying is that it made me feel and experience love that I didn't even know I could receive, to be honest. I didn't, I cried so much because I was like, wow. And I know what it takes because the economy is not economy.
It's tough right now.
It's really tough. So I really appreciated the fact that people still, took money out of their purses, out of their wallets, and really supported me. And I was able to have the surgery successfully. I was able to do my radiotherapy successfully, and I couldn't have been able to do all of that without all the support that I got. And the calls, the messages, the gifts, the flowers, everything. I kept getting so many gifts. People kept coming to my house because a lot of people didn't know. Before the GoFundMe, a lot of people didn't know. But and I think for me that was a huge change from a few people knowing to the whole world knowing and everybody showing up at my house. But I loved the love, and it's really beautiful to see that people can be there. And people are good people. It really showed that you guys are amazing. You guys are really, really amazing. And thank you very much for all the love that you guys showed. And
that's so lovely, and it was inspiring for all of us to witness that. And I love when you said people are good people.
People are good people.
Because if there's anything that showed that, a lot of people showed up for you in that moment. And we showed up for each other as well. And then I think since then, you've been posting about it. You've been chronicling your journey. You're doing this podcast right now. And to me, that just shows the importance of speaking about it, because there are a lot of things that I've learned from watching you go through it. And obviously, Andrea's learned from having to go through it herself. But a lot of us are very, very ignorant. I thought having lumps in your breast meant that, all of a sudden you see a lump and you're like, oh no, biopsy. But I learned today that those lumps are invisible sometimes. And sometimes is more discoloration, changes in your nipple, a discoloration, and then biopsies. And sometimes biopsies you have to go twice. And sometimes it's benign, sometimes it's not. And there's different types of cancer. And there's different grades of cancer as well. And we've learned what not to say. We've learned what kind of support to give. And any closing words?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the major things in surviving this journey has been my faith in God. Because you cannot go through something like this without leaning on God. That was a major thing for me. In the beginning, definitely I was upset because I'm like,
why me?
Like, hi, God.
What did I do?
What did I do? And that's the thing, that sometimes you're like, what have I done to deserve this? Like, why is this happening to me? I'm doing everything that I know I'm supposed to do. I'm not perfect, obviously. But
You're
why?
pretty perfect.
Oh, thanks. But why am I going through this? And it was so heartbreaking. I mean, I can't even explain my sleepless nights, but I had to encourage myself in God and in God's word, and still on the fact that He's my Father, and He's a good Father, and He does not give us diseases. He allows us to go through it if we're going through it, but He's always there. He's our ever-present help. And for me, that was what He was for me, that even in my darkest moment, I knew that God was still holding me, that He was still there for me.
That trust.
The fact that I could lean on Him, I could trust Him to see me through my worst days with chemo. He could see me through the surgery. He could see me through radiotherapy, and all of that. And apart from the physical pain and the spiritual battles in terms of your faith and all of that, there's the mental and emotional aspect.
For sure.
That takes a toll. So I think that if anyone knows somebody or finds out somebody's going through cancer, please extend a lot of grace. A lot of grace, because the person is literally walking with a feeling of not going to be here again tomorrow. And when you have that in your mind, it is a really, really scary thing, because you feel like your body has betrayed you.
Yeah.
Like it's literally eating you up from the inside. And like it's a lot. So just be kind, extend grace, show a lot of love and support. And please, this life, don't hold grudges with anybody, because life is too short.
Not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Not worth
It's
it.
not worth it at all. So love one another. Peace.
Love that. Andrea, last words.
Last words. Be positive, have faith, make sure you go for annual checkup.
Yep.
Get all your blood work, everything done, and stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here on the first episode of Pink Print. I've been your host, Mina Bella Hassan, and this is Margins HQ.
Peace. A lot has been said about my breast cancer journey, about other journeys that you've heard of, and what should be said, what shouldn't be said, how terrible the journey was, a lot of different things we've discussed. But one thing I would like to highlight is the support, because on this journey, you cannot survive it alone. And I had a lot of support, like I've already mentioned, from family, from friends, from my church, from people I didn't even know. But one of my major support systems as well was my company, Margins Group. And I just want to say a big thank you to Margins, to my CEO, to my deputy CEO, to all my colleagues and friends in the office, but more so, and to my team, my HR team that, held the fort for me when I wasn't around. They also showed a lot of support to me during the period which I was down. And also, I really couldn't have come far without everybody in this organization, all those who prayed for me, all those who supported with the donations, everything, those who called, message, thank you all. And I just want to say I love you guys so much, and I'm really grateful for everything. So big ups to Margins. This is the best company anybody can work in. Love you. Bye. That's not too